Bruce Johnson, CEO and founder of BizScalers and the BizScalers Club. And today I want to talk to you about how to go from being a slow growth company to being a fast growth company. How can you go from slow growth to fast growth? Now, if I were to ask you, do you ever feel frustrated that you're not growing as fast as you'd like to grow? My guess is the answer is probably going to be yes. Why? Because I've asked a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs that question. We've surveyed them multiple times, and every time we try to figure out what is the number one problem they want to solve, that number one problem is, how do I go from being slow growth to fast growth? Or how do I become a fast growth company? Or how can I grow faster? Something along those lines. And that makes sense because the studies show that somewhere around 85% of businesses are either plateaued or in decline. And when we're talking about plateau, that doesn't simply mean that they're 0% every year. It means plus or minus a small margin, a small delta. So maybe plus or minus 5%. So, $1 million company this year, next year maybe $1,050,000, the next year $975,000. And so up and down, but it's always in this small little narrow band. It never experiences this rapid growth. And that's really frustrating because you probably did not start your business to stay on a plateau. You probably want to grow quickly. You want to make more money. You probably want to hire some more people. You'd like to have maybe better talent on your team. You'd like to help more customers. You'd like to make a bigger impact. I mean, there are so many things that you probably would like to do that would be possible if you're able to grow rapidly, but right now you can't because you're just kind of stuck on this plateau or in decline. So how do you get out of that slow growth mode? How do you get into a fast growth mode? Well, what I want to do today is I want to show you the exact roadmap that you're going to need to travel. We call it the BizScalers Way. It's a roadmap that shows you step by step exactly what you need to do if you want to go from being a slow growth company to a fast growth company. Now, if you want to go deeper on this, you can always check it out at scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com. But even if you never use us or never get involved with the BizScalers Club, that's fine. These are still going to be the same steps that you need to take if you want to go from slow growth to fast growth. So that said, I want to now go to the monitor and I'm going to walk you through the BizScalers Way roadmap. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to go from slow growth to fast growth. So here we go. Let's jump in. As you can see here, there are three keys off to the left side. And the three keys are that you need to design your business to scale fast. Secondly, you need to build your systems to scale. And then thirdly, you need to deliver your promises to scale. So those are the three keys. And you'll see under each one of those three keys, there are three projects. You'll also notice there's an A and a B. So we're trying to go from slow growth to fast growth. The first thing you need to do is get the design right. And there are three projects under the design. The first thing you have to design right is you have to design the ultimate business model. Because if your business model isn't scalable, you can't scale. So we always start here. The biggest changes that you can make to your business are almost always going to be in this first block. You've got to get a business model that can scale. Now, once you can go from unscalable to more scalable, then you get to move on to step 2. But if you don't have the right business model, it doesn't make any difference. You're still not going to be a fast growth company. You got to start with your business model. Now, once you get that right, then number 2, then you work on designing your rapid growth plan. We've got to reduce the cycle time in your business so that every 90 days you're actually creating a new rapid growth plan that's going to take you from slow, sluggish growth to swift and fast growth. And we're going to do that on 90-day cycles because once you start increasing the cycle time, you're going to actually move to being a fast growth company. You're going to create, ultimately a year plan, but you really want to focus in these 90-day races. Now, once we get that in place, the third thing that you'd want to do is you're going to work on designing your ideal prospect marketing machine. The struggle that almost every business deals with is that they're completely unknown. Most people don't know them. They're stuck in obscurity. So we've got to create a marketing machine that will allow you to be able to grow rapidly, that will produce a consistent, predictable flow of high quality, we notice the key phrase here, ideal prospects who have the money that you need to buy what you want, who have the exact problem that you want. They're the people you want to work with. And once you create the marketing machine to find those people and get enough of them in the pipeline, then you've got the design right. You get to move on to the step 2, the second key, which is then you got to work on building your systems to be able to scale fast. And the first step there, which is step 4, is you're going to have to work on your predictable sales conversion system. So once you go from unknown to known, now you have to figure out how do we go from a trickle of customers to now a flood of new customers. And there you're going to have to create a predictable sales conversion system that no matter how many leads are coming in, you know exactly how much revenue is going to come in, within a small margin month after month. That predictability changes everything for your business and becomes much easier to scale when you have a pretty good idea month by month what revenues are going to be coming in. Now, once you get that built, then the next project, number 5, is you're going to work on your perfect dream team. Almost every company we've ever worked with, You usually have to remove some people and add some new people in. And as you're growing up, you're going to have to replace some of the current people with some new people with higher skill and ability so that you have not just an ordinary team, but you have an extraordinary team. And when you build that kind of perfect dream team, your ability to grow fast increases rapidly. Then once we get that fixed, then the sixth step, the sixth project you want to work on, and this is on the build phase, is you need to build your perpetual cash engine. The one thing that you can be absolutely certain about growth is that growth sucks cash. So if you don't figure out a way to have a perpetual cash engine and make sure that cash goes before the expenses, you can literally grow yourself to death. That's a bad idea. So we've got to figure out, how do you create a perpetual cash engine so that you have sufficient cash to be able to back up the rapid growth that you'd like, because you can only grow so fast if you don't have cash. So once you get 6 taken care of, now you've got the design right, you got the build right. Now we have to deliver on your promises right. So you got a bunch of ideal prospects who've now been converted. They want your stuff. You got the right team. You've got cash. Now we need to deliver, first of all, flawless execution. This is the whole operations deal. And again, a lot of companies fall down here because if you get the marketing and sales right and you got a bunch of new people coming in, but you don't have operations right, it all fails. So if you want to scale, you got to get the operations right. You have flawless execution both internally and externally on delivery and customer service, etc. And there you want to move from inconsistent performance to consistent performance. People want dependability every time they're contacting your company. Now, once you get 7 right, then you move on to number 8. And that is that you want to deliver exceptional leadership. When you started out your company, you were kind of the center of doing everything and you kind of controlled activity. But as your company grows, you have to move from being controlling to being inspiring, so that you're literally inspiring people to do it without you having to be actually engaged in it. And then you have to develop your leadership team so that they're doing the same thing. They're not controlling activity, but they're actually inspiring activity. And that will create even more leverage. Because once you get exceptional leadership in place and you've got flawless execution, the future is pretty incredible. But there's one last project you have to work on the delivery phase, and that's it. You have to deliver continual innovation. And the reason that's important is because your market and your customers and your competitors don't stay stagnant. So if you keep doing the same thing you've always been doing, they're going to come up with better solutions, better strategy, better marketing activities, better business models, etc., and you're going to be left in the dust. So you have to move, in this case here, from being just a follower, just one of the people in the pack, to being the leader. And when you can move to being the leader and everyone else is chasing you, you have the potential of actually building a fast growth company. So if you want to know how you go from slow growth to fast growth, those are the 9 key projects and the 3 keys. You got to get the design right, the build right, the delivery right. And then you have to work on your business model, your growth plan, your marketing machine. You get that ready. Then you work on your sales system, your team, your cash. And then finally you work on your execution, your leadership, and your continual innovation. And that will allow you to go from slow growth to fast growth. Now before we finish, there is one last little block at the bottom that hopefully you've noticed, and it has the word you in there, because you're the wild card in the whole process. No business can consistently perform at a level beyond the capacity of their senior leader, the senior executive. So you are both the primary driver and the primary bottleneck of your business. So the way to really grow you and your company is to grow you. And the more that you grow, the faster your company's going to grow. So the more that you grow in your knowledge base, the more you grow in your skill set, the more you grow in your mindset, the more that you grow in your productivity, that's going to influence everything above it. You literally are the ground that influences the whole deal. So if you want to work on growing your company, the first thing you always want to do is work on growing you. And the more that you grow you, the better everything else will get. That's one of the reasons why in the BizScalers Club, we work so much and focus so much of our attention on helping you become better at all of these things, because the better that you are, the faster your company is going to grow. That really is the ultimate secret of going from slow growth to fast growth. So with all that said, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, I would encourage you to pass this along to some other business owners and entrepreneurs and let them know. If you're watching by video and you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening by podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button there as well. If you haven't checked out the BizScalers Club yet, go to scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com. We would help you with every single one of these issues, because our goal is to help you build a more scalable business. And finally, make sure you check back regularly here to the BizScalers Way, because our commitment to you in this video and podcast and blog post platform is to make sure that we're delivering you actionable content that will help you grow and scale a great business. Oh, and by the way, over the next 10 weeks, I'm going to spend each week picking one of these issues and giving you one key in each one of them to help you begin to move from slow growth to fast growth. So stay tuned. So until next week, to your accelerated success, Bruce out.